Symphony's Silent Cries by Carolyn A. Smith. Chapter 1. The Waiting Game. Symphony Richardson sat at the corner of a long banquet table, the cheerful sounds of laughter and conversation swirling around her. It was her friend Tanisha's baby shower, and the room was packed with glowing moms-to-be and doting husbands. Symphony smiled politely as another friend leaned in to gush about nursery themes, but her heart felt heavy. The conversations all seemed to blend together. "When are you going to settle down, Symphony? You're such a catch. You just need to get out more." She'd heard it all before. Symphony's polite responses masked a growing frustration. "I've done everything right, Lord. Where is my blessing?" When the party finally wound down, Symphony helped Tanisha gather the gifts and clear the plates, wanting to stay useful and avoid her own thoughts. But as she packed her car with leftover balloons and decorations, the loneliness crept back in. She drove home in silence, blinking away tears she didn't want to shed. Later that evening, she called Chloe, her best friend since college. Chloe was in the middle of preparing dinner, a toddler clinging to her leg while she stirred a pot on the stove. "You picked the perfect time to call," Chloe said, her voice warm despite the chaos in the background. "Maddie's teething, dinner's late, and I think I've answered the question why, at least 50 times today." Symphony laughed softly, though the sound lacked its usual brightness. "I can call back if you're busy." "Don't you dare," Chloe said, setting down the spoon. "Maddie will survive, and Micah can eat warm tacos instead of hot. What's up?" Symphony hesitated, the words catching in her throat, but Chloe knew her too well. "Talk to me, Sim," she said gently, shifting Maddie onto her hip. "I just feel forgotten," Symphony admitted, her voice quiet. "It's like God gave everyone else their happily ever after, and I'm the one he left behind." Chloe frowned, bouncing Maddie slightly to keep her content. "Symphony, you know that's not true. God's timing isn't always ours." Symphony sighed, sinking into the cushions of her couch. "I've heard that so many times, Chloe, but how much longer? I'm 39. Should I just give up? Stop hoping?" Chloe shifted Maddie to her other hip and grabbed her phone, glancing at a text from her husband about dinner. She put the phone down and turned her full attention to Symphony. "First of all, you are not giving up," Chloe said firmly. "Second, you need to stop looking at what you don't have and start looking at what God's already given you." Symphony let out a bitter laugh. "Like what? A great job? A nice empty house? Friends who send me to baby showers to remind me what I don't have?" "Stop it," Chloe said, her tone sharp but loving. "You have so much more than you're letting yourself see. You have a calling, Sim. You have a faith most people would envy, and you have me, and I am not letting you wallow in self-pity tonight." Symphony smiled despite herself. Chloe had always been this way, direct but loyal to a fault. "You're right," Symphony admitted. "It's just hard, watching everyone move forward while I feel stuck." "I get it," Chloe said, her voice softening. "I remember feeling that way before Jason came along. It's hard, but God doesn't forget his promises. You just have to keep trusting him, even when it's hard." Chloe put Maddie down with a toy and sat back against the kitchen counter, her voice gentler now. "You're not alone in this. You've got me, and I'm always going to have your back. And God hasn't forgotten you, Sim. I need you to believe that." Symphony blinked back tears, her heart warming at Chloe's unwavering support. "You're the best," Symphony said finally. "I know," Chloe replied with a grin, "and don't you forget it." Their friendship had been forged in college, years of late-night talks and road trips, bonding them like sisters. Chloe was always the steady voice of reason in Symphony's life, grounding her when her emotions ran high. And Symphony was the dreamer, the encourager who had cheered Chloe through every major life decision. Their connection ran deep, surviving long distances, marriages, and babies. Even now, with their lives in such different places, Chloe always found time for Symphony. And Symphony knew, no matter how lonely she felt, she would always have a friend in Chloe. "Come over for dinner tomorrow," Chloe said suddenly. "Maddie's cuter when she's not crying, and Micah makes a mean stir-fry." Symphony laughed, the heaviness in her chest easing just a little. "I'd like that," she said. "Good," Chloe said. "Now go get some sleep. And Sim?" "Yeah? God's got you. Don't you dare forget it." Symphony smiled softly, her heart a little lighter. "I won't." As the call ended, Symphony sat in the quiet of her apartment, feeling a small spark of hope reignite. She wasn't sure what the future held, but for tonight, she was thankful for the sisterhood that held her steady.